We are smack dab in the middle of a week of storylines and conversations about the matchup on Sunday, and there's one I found particularly interesting, and that would be the LA Times trying to make the Super Bowl more dramatic by calling it a matchup of good versus evil, featuring, quote, cheating Brady versus wide-eyed Maddie, which is probably the most ridiculous lead I've ever heard. Everybody knows where I stand on this as a Patriots fan, but Brandon, you actually play in the NFL. I don't know if you know that. Does that make sense to you as a player?
Well, give me some background. What are they talking about, good versus evil?
That people hate the Patriots because they're cheaters. I guess that the Falcons aren't, although I think they pumped crowd noise into their stadium.
Can't hear you.
That's because all the fake crowd noise. Yeah. So yeah, is this like a thing that we do, the media, and that the players are like, this is not the case?
Well, I guess my question is, who isn't evil, right? Like,
preach.
I mean, I'm gonna be totally honest. I may be going a little too deep too soon. I mean, we got like another 58 minutes to
Dive
fill.
right in.
But, oh my gosh, this is one of the most corrupt environments that you can be in. Entertainment, sports. I mean, we're talking about starting at the youth level in sports. It's so corrupt, it's so volatile. Everybody's evil to me.
Yeah. Especially Bill Belichick, because don't you, I can kind of see him just rubbing a cat a lot. I just imagine that's what he does in the locker room.
Nobody's Inspector Gadget callback?
Yeah, well, yes.
Are the Patriots like that evil to you? I can't be unbiased on this.
No,
I went off on Deflategate for 20 minutes on Monday.
I would probably root for Russia in the Olympics before the Patriots.
Really?
Wow. But are you auditioning for a place in our president's cabinet right now?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening? We're in Texas. I forgot.
Bingo. So, all right,
help
listen.
me.
In the last decade, right, the Patriots have been caught up in one scandal, and that's the deflated footballs.
Yeah.
The science behind that is very questionable. The league's execution of that was laughable. And so in my eyes, what we have is one team has simply executed better than everyone else. One team also, because of film study that I know Brandon can speak to, because they look for every available, I don't want to say shortcut, but every available path to victory. They do things like the different formations against the Ravens a couple years ago that were not against the rules, just up against the edge of the rules.
Yeah.
And so you combine that with the fact that because they're so good, they've been in the spotlight. You combine that to the way the league botched what I think was a real scandal in Spygate, and because they botched it, none of us really know what happened because they burnt the tapes, literally burnt the tapes. That's always a cloud hanging over it. And so because of all that, we just have this trope that the New England Patriots are cheaters. And then, and I was told I'm not supposed to attack people, but opinions. So an incredibly lazy opinion, but I'm sure a very diligent writer in Bill Plaschke. What we have is this trope, it's good versus evil, it's bad, it's
lazy.
nonsense.
It's lazy.
Of course it's lazy.
But look at Deflategate. Didn't they Deflategate by coming out this year and making it to the Super Bowl? Their balls were perfectly fine this year.
Yes, they were.
They deflated Deflategate.
I checked them before every game.
I always want to hear Brandon Marshall talk about perfect balls. It really just makes my day. But here's the thing. I definitely, I think that they're evil in the sense that they're like a necessary evil, though, because the Patriots are the best. That's why everybody hates them. That's why it means a lot to beat them as a team. And I think that the Falcons aren't necessarily good as much as they are an underdog, you know, and we just hate the Patriots because they win all the time, especially in life, because they're white.
The Patriots were the underdog for a really long time. Like, they were that team. Like, this is, I think people are
very long time.
Well, like, way before.
And
like,
now
before
they're
we've reached
the
this
top
dynasty.
dogs for a very long time.
But that's the thing, the media doesn't ever want to acknowledge, because then it sort of makes our jobs frivolous, that, like, these are cycles. Everything is cyclical. Like, if the Falcons then continue to keep winning and winning and winning, and then they become a dynasty, we hate that in 6 years.
It's not about winning. It's about how they win.
Right.
You have a coach in Bill Belichick that stands up there for 30 minutes and says nothing. You have a quarterback that stands up there for 30 minutes in a presser every week and says nothing. They basically say screw you without saying screw you. And that's the thing that makes beating them so special. That's why they're the most hated team 2 years in a row, is because the way how how they do it.
And let me add this though: for people that think no, the Patriots are inherently bad. It's not the media. It's not a bias. It's that the Patriots are cheaters. Around the same time that Deflategate happened, which again, it's the only real scandal they've been involved in a decade. That there were two other rule-breaking incidents.
What about this?
The Falcons piped in crowd noise
By a man named Roddy White. People go past that fact.
It wasn't the
The
receiver.
Falcons had two people that worked for their team named Roddy White.
This bothers you a lot.
That's insane. Have you ever met a Roddy in your life? They had two Roddy Whites. They fired one, and then the other one, I think they fired two. I don't know. He stopped showing up.
But if they, if the,
Retired.
Like two Roddy Whites. Sorry, carry on.
No,
You're
that's
making a
fine.
point.
So the Falcons are piping in crowd noise. The Browns are texting from the booth. The
That helped.
Patriots are deflating footballs,
There you
right?
go.
If we played musical chairs with those three violations, the texting, the crowd noise, the deflation, whichever one landed on the Patriots would be the one that becomes a giant controversy. It wasn't about the crime. It was about the criminal. If it was true, if the Patriots are texting from the booth, that's the big deal. If the Patriots are pumping in crowd noise, that's the big deal. Which tells me from the beginning, we've already reached our
But
conclusion.
if it's a history, isn't it valid though? If there's a history?
But my question is, how much of a history do we really have? We have Spygate from 15 years ago.
And
Since
that
then-
was flimsy, let's be honest.
Right,
and
and-
people still think that it's a controversy
it
that it wasn't.
flimsy?
Well, because first it came out that they taped the Rams walkthrough before the Super Bowl, and that was proven to be false. But nobody listens to the follow-up, and everybody's like, oh, they taped the Rams before that Super Bowl. No, they didn't, and it was proven that they didn't. But you want a reason to hate, like, oh, why did they win against the greatest show on turf? Because they cheated.
But if they-
because otherwise, it would have to be that they were really good, and nobody wants to admit that.
Brandon, my point would be this. Since Spygate, because they've won so much and because Spygate was a real thing, they have had a spotlight on them unlike any other team.
Correct.
And the closest thing you can get on them is a potential, possible, scientifically questionable deflation of footballs. All the other stuff's innuendo. It's, when we're in New England, it feels like our headsets go out. We got to erase the whiteboards. It's a lot of conjecture. I feel like that if the people are after you, right? If the feds are like, we know you're doing wrong, we're gonna keep an agent on you, we're gonna keep watching you.
Boy, do I
And
know
the
what that feels like.
Exactly right. And the worst thing they can catch you on is like alleged jaywalking and maybe you underpaid your taxes a little bit, then maybe you weren't doing that bad to begin with.
But you have to take the good with the
love
evil
this.
because as much as people hate them, they also only predict them to win the Super Bowl.
'Cause they're
which
great.
is super unfair.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like the Patriots are like the Lannisters. Like everybody hates them, but they make good TV. They make good TV.
They do make good TV.
But they don't say anything.
Well,
They
you
make
told-
great TV.
Yeah.
You said that every league or the whole league is evil. If you had to pick which franchise, as a player who knows more than we do, is actually the evil franchise, who would it be?
Oh man, all of them.
All of them? We're
All
going
of
to
them.
bail you out and let you say all of them?
All of them,
Not
yes.
the Cowboys?
Yeah, Jerry Jones. I can't go there right now. No, but the business of the NFL, at times it can be a bit much, and at times it can be toxic.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about a $10 billion business.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. When there's money involved, people do strange things.
Yeah.
Do you
This panel is a perfect
feel
example.
conflicted that's, I mean, this is like, I don't know if I've ever heard an active NFL player say the stuff you said these first 10 minutes. And I appreciate the honesty. Do you feel conflicted that this is how you make a living? Like that you are involved directly in what it seems like you deem just an inherently immoral enterprise?
Well, there's no different, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's no separation between sport and entertainment, entertainment and politics and corporation. It's all the same. When money gets involved and people get involved, people do strange things. That's
Yeah.
the best way I can describe it.
Like
So for me,
elect reality stars.
yeah, I mean, we look at just
Not familiar.
the narrative in our media, how we cover sports, right? Like we put our athletes on a totally different pedestal, and we expect them to be these superheroes when we're not, and we try to hold them to a standard that we don't even hold ourselves to, you know. And I just think that it's time for us to look at how our relationships are between the media and athletes and players and ownerships, because it's really toxic.